Resuming debate, the honourable member for West Nova.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It is a great honour to rise for the first time in this magnificent chamber and speak on behalf of the great people of West Nova. I am so proud to have the privilege of representing the 83,000 people that live in our riding. I sincerely thank them for the confidence that they have placed in me to be their voice in this important national dialogue. West Nova has been called a microcosm of rural Canada. From Waterville to Pubnico and every wonderfully charming community in between, our riding boasts an incredible wealth of natural riches, industrious people, and a fascinating history. However, like other rural places in the Maritimes and across Canada, we face significant challenges: an aging population, transportation difficulties, and not enough good jobs. This is why I am so encouraged by the speech from the throne and the opportunity that this 42nd Parliament offers to make real change happen for all Canadians, including rural Canada, and most particularly, from my perspective, for West Nova. As we approach Canada's 150th birthday celebrations in 2017, it is important to recognize the story of our incredible history as a country. The speech from the throne clearly stated that diversity is Canada's strength, and the intersection of diversity and our history is clear in West Nova. 4 founding peoples of Canada are rooted in the history of our riding. The story of Western Nova Scotia is Canada's story. Quand nous parlons d'un Canada bilingue et multiculturel, ma circonscription de Nova-Ouest a une histoire riche qui mérite d'être racontée et reconnue. C'est à Port-Royal où est née l'Acadie, berceau des premières francophones en Amérique du Nord, lorsque Samuel de Champlain établit l'habitation en 1605. Des liens d'amitié profonds furent forgés entre les Acadiens et Micmacs, donnant vie à un métissage entre ces peuples fondateurs. In nearby Annapolis Royal, a royal charter was signed creating the province of Nova Scotia in 1621. It is through this charter that Nova Scotia later received its coat of arms and flag representing its relationship with Scotland. Following the American War of Independence, a large number of Black Loyalists arrived in Nova Scotia between 1783 and 1785, representing the largest group of African birth and African descendants to come to Nova Scotia at any one time. It is this rich diversity, Acadian, Mi'kmaq, Métis, British, and African Canadians, that contributes to the character and vitality of West Nova. La vitalité des communautés acadiennes de la baie Sainte-Marie et d'Argyle contribuent à leur développement économique rural. Par exemple, l'Université Sainte-Anne, seule institution postsecondaire de langue française en Nouvelle-Écosse, contribue énormément à l'industrie culturelle et créative de ma région. Je dois aussi noter que la promotion des langues officielles de notre pays passe également par la promotion et la création d'opportunités d'apprentissage linguistique en français comme langue seconde. C'est pourquoi je supporte un discours du trône qui vise à encourager l'utilisation des langues officielles du pays et prévoit des investissements dans nos industries culturelles et créatives canadiennes. And today, we see with generosity of spirit, many people in West Nova have opened up their hearts to Syrian refugees. In several communities, our riding has assisted the good people that have been welcomed in their community. Whether it be organizations like the Yarmouth Refugee Support Group, or the Annapolis Royal Community Assisting Relocation, or church groups like the Digby Wesleyan or Hillgrove Baptist Church, our communities are enriched by the part we are playing in Canada's national project on Syrian refugees. They enrich our communities and make us a stronger country. Canada is a strong country not only because of its people, but also because of its natural riches. This is as true in West Nova as anywhere in the country. Our riding is blessed with the world's finest seafood. Lobster, scallops, and haddock are fished in our waters off southwestern Nova Scotia, and the fertile lands in the Annapolis Valley with world-renowned apples, crops, and now the amazing wineries producing excellent wines. These incredible products of the highest quality depend on a clean environment that nurtures and fosters an abundance of harvest. This is the most basic example that a clean environment and a strong economy go hand in hand. We must ensure that these riches are not only enjoyed today, but that the quality and bounty with which we are blessed are preserved for generations to come. Also, the Bay of Fundy off our shores is a true natural wonder. With the highest tides in the world, there is vast potential for the development of new technologies that will harness the incredible tidal power and produce clean, powerful energy. Such development will spur economic activity and reduce carbon pollution in the move towards renewable and sustainable energy. Also, there is tremendous opportunity for wind power generation with the steady and consistent source on and off our coast. Investments in such clean technologies to seize the emerging opportunities will not only help our country meet its obligations to combat climate change, it will produce lots of good jobs and further potential to export such technological innovation. With our natural riches and friendly people, West Nova has unrealized potential to attract new businesses and tourists. We have many quaint towns and villages dotting our riding, and I invite all Canadians to experience the hospitality and charm of one of our beautiful bed and breakfasts or visit Kejimkujik National Park to see the vast and pristine wilderness and many lakes of the interior of Nova Scotia. Commitments to provide additional resources for our national parks is very welcomed in West Nova, especially as we look to celebrate our great outdoors as part of our national celebration in 2017. Ensuring we have transportation links available to get our people and goods in and out of our area will be key to future economic development as well. Going forward, investments in these types of infrastructure, as enunciated in the speech from the throne, will certainly benefit the important transportation issues and others that we have in West Nova. The Canadian Forces Base at 14 Wing Greenwood is an exceptionally key part of West Nova, not only because of the economic benefits that it provides for our area, but because we are proud of the brave men and women of the Canadian Forces and their families that live, work, and retire there. As a result, I have the good fortune of representing many veterans, not only in the Valley, but across West Nova, and also across generations. I am therefore fully supportive of the commitment to not only have a better equipped military, but also a government that takes care of our veterans as a first priority. Reestablishing mental health facilities, restoring the lifetime pension for injured veterans, and ensuring that their families get greater support are the right things to do. Because of our shared history, culture, and our natural riches, the residents of West Nova enjoy a good quality of life. We want people to live, work, and raise their family there in dignity. But as I went throughout the riding during the election campaign, it became clear that far too many seniors in West Nova are finding it difficult to make ends meet and, in fact, are living in poverty. The commitments to seniors are very important to my constituents, and they should be secure in the knowledge that their incomes on old age security and the guaranteed income supplement will keep up with the rising cost of living. After working for many years, Canadians deserve a dignified retirement starting at age 65. And that is why I support a plan to restore the eligibility age from 67 to 65 for the OAS and GIS. Finally, assisting single seniors by increasing their GIS by 10% will make a big difference in improving the quality of life for many of the good people I represent. An aging population also means an increased strain on our local healthcare resources. I fully support the government's commitment to work with the provinces and territories to develop a new health accord. As demographics change, so too do the challenges faced by smaller provinces like Nova Scotia to deliver reasonably comparable healthcare services at reasonably comparable levels of taxation. The quality of life of families in West Nova is paramount to making sure we have thriving communities and healthy kids. The investments the government has outlined in the throne speech will go a long way to providing the help that we need to make sure that we have a country we want for our next generation. So let us come together as the 42nd Parliament and be worthy of those who have gone before us in this place. Let us work together in constructive dialogue, to be sure, offering different points of view on difficult matters, but doing so in a manner that respects each other and respects the decency and the goodwill of the people we are elected to represent. I look forward to working with all of my honourable colleagues and moving Canada forward in our pursuit of peace, order, and good governance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments? Questions and comments? Okay. The honourable member for, one second here. Coast of Bays Central, Notre Dame.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I apologize for the lateness in getting to my feet. Nevertheless, I want to congratulate my colleague from West Nova. I called him my fellow Search and Rescue MP because, of course, I have Gander as a base. He has Greenwood, and they work together to save lives on the East Coast, which they do valiantly. But the question I want to ask him is, and he is a rural MP like myself, one of the major problems that we have with an elderly population is that in many cases when you have a surviving partner resulting from death, the problem is a lot of these people live in the homes that they have lived in for many years. And although they had two streams of income, old age security, now they've got the one, unfortunately what ends up happening is the bills stay the same, which is why I'm proud to say that one of the things that we're going to do is to increase by 10% to the surviving person on old age security. I was wondering if he could expand on this, using illustrations from his own riding, which I know has many seniors, much like my own riding. Thank you.
The honourable member for Central Nova.
Well, thank you very much, and I thank my colleague for the excellent question. And certainly it is an important component of the way that we're going to improve the life of seniors. And I do have many seniors in my community, and during the campaign it was apparent to me going and talking to them and also going into their homes that they are having financial difficulties. I think the commitments that have been made in our campaign platform and also enunciated in the speech from the throne clearly identify that assisting single seniors in particular, and as mentioned, adding 10% to the GIS for those single seniors will go a long way in helping these folks be able to pay their bills. There are other measures, of course, that are being introduced to help seniors in the future, certainly working with the provinces on expanding the Canada Pension Plan and also to make sure that the healthcare system is adequately meeting the needs of those, especially in rural areas where sometimes they cannot get the access to medical help that they need. Thank you very much for the question.
Questions and comments? The honourable member for Essex.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I compliment my member Cross on his speech today, and throughout today I've heard many members in this House speak about families and people struggling in their riding. People in my riding of Essex are struggling as well, and unfortunately the speech failed to outline plans to fight poverty and reduce inequality in Canada. Nothing to address the fact that the absence of a federal minimum wage leaves far too many Canadians working full-time but still living below the poverty line. A way to provide direct help to tens of thousands of families is by giving them a raise by reinstating the $15 an hour federal minimum wage. Does the member opposite agree that the government needs to take a leadership role for all Canadians and provide direct help to them by giving them a raise through reinstating the federal minimum wage and raising it to $15 an hour, and also to support workers and ensure that minimum wage workers in Canada do not fall below the poverty line?
The honourable member for West Nova.
Well, I thank the member opposite for her question. I do respectfully disagree, however, and I think I outlined in my speech quite clearly some of the things that are being done to help families that are struggling, including the Canada Child Benefit. When we look at the ability that is going to provide to families that are certainly in my riding having difficulty making ends meet, means tested, making sure that it's tax-free, putting the money back in the pockets of those who need it the most is an important investment that our government is committed to doing. With regard to seniors, I clearly outlined in my speech some of the measures that are being taken to assist seniors that are living in poverty, and my friend asked a moment ago a question exactly on that point. With regard to the federal minimum wage in particular, which she talks about, I know that this was a campaign commitment in the election by the New Democratic Party, and it would affect 0 people in my riding. In fact, so it is not a measure that is going to increase the wealth of anybody in my riding, increase them helping to make ends meet. Certainly discussion with the provinces about what we can do to alleviate poverty, investments in social infrastructure, making sure people have affordable housing. These are all important investments that our government is committed to doing. But I do thank my honourable friend for her question. Thank you.
Reprise du débat. L'honorable député